Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a blessed Sunday. And in the news this morning, slain gangster had a bloody and brutal history, says the police. Sheldon Lennox Walters, the gang leader known as a Termite, whose shooting death on Friday night by police sparked tension in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, had what cops described as a notable history with an organized crime, specifically with the Klansman gang. Police sources told the news that Walters, who had led the Top Banks gang after a split with the Klansman gang, had orchestrated at least 10 murders and several shooting incidents in St. Catherine between June 2019 and March this year. The incidents include the murder of Frederick Thompson, otherwise called Sicilian or Maca, of Kitson Town on June 12, 2019. Shooting of O'Shane Pinnock, otherwise called Ganja, on Burke Road on September 15, 2020. Murder of Claude Smith and the shooting of Odine Richards at 1 Salt Pond Road on September 20, 2020. Murder and the double shooting of Kevin Lewis, also known as Bread, on Burke Road on October 12, 2020. Shooting of Tonyan Bell, otherwise called the Tory, sister of now deceased Tevin Bell, and Jamil Smith at the Fraser's Boulevard, Meadowrest Memorial Gardens on January 17, 2021. Double murder and the shooting of Keshana Melado and others at Nesbury Grove, Kitson Town on February 23, 2021. Murder of Andrew Burke at Banana Hole, Kitson Town on February 25, 2021. The murders of Dervon Brown, also known as Adrian, and Andre Thomas, alias Tutupang, in 2023, and the shooting deaths of 2 men on Marchapin Road on Wednesday, March 13, 2024. According to the police, members of Walters' Top Banks gang shot the men and then disposed of their bodies on the Dunby Holding Main Road, where they were found by the police. Information gathered by the police suggests that the murders were sanctioned by Walters and that the men were killed because they were from Jones Avenue, an area controlled by the Andre Blackman Bryan faction of the Klansman gang. The police said that they had expected an escalation of tension in Spanish Town after Walters was killed in a confrontation with the cops. On Saturday, after Walters' followers blocked some roads in the old capital, police reported that another Klansman gangster, Charles MacDonald, alias Choops, was cut down during a violent confrontation with the cops in Greendale, St. Catherine. His firearm, they said, was recovered. They also reported that MacDonald, who was number 3 on the St. Catherine North Police Division's most wanted list, was recently freed of a murder charge at the St. Catherine Parish Court. The police had also said that Walters' death might intensify violence over extortion rackets between warring factions of the Klansman gang. They said that although the roadblocks had been cleared on Saturday, they were alerted to the potential for arson and attacks against the law enforcement. In preparation, the constabulary decided to maintain a high presence in Spanish Town for at least 72 hours and mounted targeted operations against the key instigators. The police said that Walters, who was born on July 14, 1979, was initially aligned with Tesher Miller, known as Hombre, before shifting allegiance to Bryan during a gang split. Both Miller and Bryan are incarcerated. Miller has been indicted under the Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Amendment Act, commonly called the Anti-Gang Law, for leadership of the Klansman gang. Bryan, who led the Wandon faction of the Klansman gang, was last October sentenced to 39.5 years for leadership of a criminal organization and facilitating the commission of murder and arson after the long-running Klansman gang trial. On Saturday, the police said that Walters was implicated in gang-related activities under the Criminal Justice Suppression Act in 2017, but was acquitted in March 2021. After his acquittal, Walters distanced himself from Bryan and formed his own faction, aligning with a member of the One Order gang. Police said he took on a leadership role and managed the daily operations, including extortion and arms trafficking. His influence spanned multiple areas, including Railway Premise, Carlett Road, Marchpen, and Kitson Town. On April 19, 2024, Walters was reportedly involved in the distribution of firearms obtained from Ellerslie Pen, further indicating his ongoing participation in criminal activities, the police sources said. They also reported that he had aligned himself with a number of other gang leaders in St. Catherine and had formed an allegiance with the genocide gang in Parade Gardens, Kingston Central. Before Walters' demise, the police said they had received several intelligence reports that he was planning to carry out attacks in Spanish Town against the rivals, mainly members of the Tesher Miller-led faction of the Klansman gang. However, police activities prevented the occurrence of these threats. They also reported that he had tried to migrate to the United States with the intention of leading his gang from that country, as he had thought that would be safer for him. He fled Jamaica in November 2023 to Panama, intending to make his way to the U.S. via that country. However, he was deported by Panama on November 29, 2023, the police said. Walters reportedly married a U.S. citizen recently. Teen boys on the run following fatal stabbing. 2 teenage boys are on the run following the stabbing death of a man in the community of Bunker Ridge in Buff Bay, Portland on Friday. Police sources say that on Friday afternoon, men were gambling at a location in the community when an argument developed between the now deceased man and the teenagers. The argument turned physical. According to the police, during the physical confrontation, a knife was allegedly used to stab the now deceased several times. The man was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead upon arrival. The teenagers reportedly fled the scene and are being sought by the police. It is understood that one of the boys is a grade 9 student from a high school in Portland, while the other was only recently expelled from a high school in the neighboring parish of St. Mary. The police are urging the boys to turn themselves in. 22 detained following protest in Spanish Town. Head of the St. Catherine North Police Division, Superintendent Hope Nicholson, says that 22 people were taken into custody during operations in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, following protests by residents who blocked several roadways. Chaos reigned in sections of Spanish Town on Saturday morning as the sympathizers of reputed Klansman gang enforcer Sheldon Walters, otherwise known as a Termite, reacted to news of his death. He was killed during an alleged shootout with police on Friday night. Nicholson says 2 of the 22 people taken into custody are persons of interest in a murder and a shooting. The others were arrested as a part of the police's public order drive. We will be continuing the enforcement throughout the division to bring a state of peace to those persons who are desirous of going about their lawful businesses, Nicholson said. Relatives of some of those detained gathered at the Spanish Town police station proclaiming their innocence. After the man them come wake them and ask that they block the road, the police come lock them up, but they were forced to do it, one woman said. Nicholson said all the roadblocks in Spanish Town have now been cleared. Elderly man hits 8-year-old with a crate. A parish judge chided an elderly corporate-era man who threw a crate at an 8-year-old boy. You're a big man, you shouldn't be throwing things at a child. You should talk to the parents, and parents are to take hold of their children too. I'm just saying, Judge Jacqueline Wilcott said on Thursday in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court. It was shared that on November 10, 2023, the complainant was sent to a community shop to purchase items when the defendant, Wendell Beckford, threw a crate at the child, hitting him in the right side of the head. When Beckford was cautioned, he said to the police, "Them always a trouble me. Them always a throw stone palm me." He is before the court answering to 1 count of assault occasioning actual bodily harm. "You shouldn't have done that, Mr. Beckford," the parish judge scolded the elderly man. Judge Wilcott requested that family members of Beckford attend the court on the next occasion in the event that she is minded to offer him bail. The matter is next before the courts on May 6 for possible bail application.